vocoder, 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 vocoder.
Hi, welcome to my roundup of sort of various vocoder options. We'll take a look at an all-in-one sort of value solution, that being the Korg, MicroKORG, which are about £150 second hand, or you can buy new for about, I think it's £330 at the minute. These have been on the market for years. They're really, really, really good. The new dedicated vocoder hardware, the new Roland boutique VP-03. It's based on the original VP-03 vocoder Plus. Costs around £300, not quite all in one because you don't get your keyboard with it. This is a MicroKORG I'm using, Korg MicroKORG, but there is a dedicated unit you can put these in. I think it's an extra £85, so the cost's nearer £400 for a sort of built-in solution. I'll take a look at the Xils-Lab version of this as well. And that's €150, €149, about £130, I think, something like that. And also I'll take out a hardware effect only Digitech Talker. So obviously if you want to use this, you need your own synth and you need your own mic. So the cost of these is a bit up and down. I think I bought that for around £100 a couple of years back, and I think I saw one for 75 a few months ago. But now, just taking a quick look on eBay, they're around £300. So just a few observations about each of them before we sort of get to the sound. Firstly, the Roland boutique. So this is my newest. I only got it this a couple of days ago. It uses a simple sawtooth, I think, as the carrier to modulate the voice. It doesn't have a dedicated input, so if you want to use another synth as a carrier, you can do it using your DAW and using this as a USB interface. I think it's got 6 channels, and you set your DAW output to this, and you set whatever you want to use as a carrier to output 5 and 6. So it can be done, but it's a proper old faff. I've had to play with it, but to be honest, just sort of leave it as is. I really wish it came with a dedicated audio input, because then it'd be a sort of fantastic solution, but it doesn't. Also, the mic on this is incredibly short. You'll see as I try and play it later, I'm getting a bad back just leaning over trying to use this thing. I mean, it's such a shame they didn't put those extra bits on. I'd have paid a couple of extra quid to have a longer mic and a dedicated input. Another thing with this is the USB, using USB MIDI, I've got some ground loop hums when I've plugged it into effects units. That goes away as soon as you use the 5-pin sort of standard MIDI output. But you know, just worth noting. And using this as well, because it hasn't got a dedicated 5-pin DIN, I'm using it, Bluetoothing it to my computer, my laptop, and my laptop it's just gone to sleep mode there. And as soon as it goes into sleep mode, this doesn't work anymore, so that's a bit of a pain, especially if you're using it live, something to be aware of. Moving on to the MicroKORG. Mic here is a bit longer, but it's very floppy, and you're constantly moving your head around trying to speak in it. And it doesn't come with this foam end. I've put that on because it's so sibilant. And actually, I didn't really think about that until a couple of days ago when I saw this one, and I thought, here you go. That might be the cure to all its ills, and it has made a massive difference. Why this doesn't come with a foam end, I don't know. Again, why don't they do these things? It's really, really bizarre. You know, these things are pennies. Anyway, the synth architecture of the Korg is brilliant, which is why it's been around for years. It uses oscillator 1 as the carrier, and oscillator 1 has got a it's called a standard sawtooth, pulse, triangle, plus it's got a wavetable. I think it's 64 waves, and it's got some vocal things in there as well. It's got noise, and it's got a special dedicated vocal oscillator, so you can do sort of vocal type noises with it. Well, nowhere near as good as that for that. But you can do strings, and you can do vocalish noises. This you can do strings and vocal noises. This you can't do anything on. This is literally, I'm going to use the Prophet 6 with this, Prophet 6, and I'm going to put that through the MicroKORG cluster flux. So all in all, probably around £3,000 worth of kit. So that's the sort of maybe the higher end of things, but each of these, I mean, this has got this ensemble, which makes a big difference to the sound. So put the ensemble on there, well, on and off as I go through this. Xils-Lab that I'm going to use as well. It should sound similar to this, but it doesn't to my ears, but we'll have a listen later. Super simple, microphones on, turn the human voice and the strings down. This is the vocoder level. Let's take the ensembler off for now, and let's have a little play.
This is a vocoder, a funky little vocoder. This is a vocoder, a funky little vocoder.
You can see here, if we speak too loud, this light here lights up red and you get a bit of distortion. Sounds okay sometimes it's a bit too strong, but turning it down too much and you don't get a very good level out there. So yeah, so have a listen again.
Vocoder, vocode this. Can you understand what I'm saying? Can you understand what I'm saying? Intergalactic, planetary, planetary, intergalactic.
It's really quiet that in the studio. I can't actually hear much what's going on. I'll turn it up a little bit.
Intergalactic, planetary, planetary, intergalactic.
So you're getting the sibilants through there as well. It's got a tone control. So let's have a listen.
Say these words, say these words, hear these words, hear these words.
So really clear, really nice, really simple. Let's stick the ensemble on and it completely changes the tone.
Hello, 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 hello. Vocoding has got a little bit spacier.
And maybe with some chords.
This is a vocoder. Can you hear what I'm saying? This is a vocoder. Can you hear what I am saying?
So I think that's pretty nice, pretty clear. Let's take a look at the MicroKORG now. Let's pull up a program. Where are we? So this is just a bog standard sawtooth wave, as simple as it gets, vocoder.
This is a vocoder. Vocoder. Robotic voice is a vocoder. Intergalactic.
Keep on doing the intergalactic because it's sort of quite a famous one, but it's nice to hear the sort of T's and the C's and the G in there. So
intergalactic, planetary, planetary, intergalactic.
Don't know if that's right, if it's what it did on the track or not. Okay, let's move this through. I've just programmed this now to put an ensembler on, put it into poly mode.
Vocoder, this is a vocoder program. Polysynth vocoder, playing some chords. Can you understand what I'm saying with this vocoder?
So I think that's quite nice. This one, you can change the vocoding options on it as well. It's got 10 bands, 10 filter bands, and you can tweak them on here. It's simpler to see them on the editor program actually. Let's have a listen to this. I've just changed this from everything panned central. Each of the filter bands you can pan left or right as well. So I've slightly pan them left and right to make it a bit more spacious as well.
Hello, hello.
And the standard version will be
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
one's a bit brighter than the other. I've done the same with the mono version as well. So this is the standard mono.
Hello, hello, vocoder, 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 vocoder.
So I've just panned these a little bit and brought out some of the top end.
Vocoder, 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 vocoder.
Whether it sounds good in the mix or not, I don't know. Let's have a listen to those just side by side. Then let's have listen to the polysynth ones.
Hello, hello. Can you understand what I'm saying?
And I think the slightly duller one emulates that a bit better. Duller, warmer, richer.
Hello, hello. Can you hear what I'm saying? Hello, hello. Can you hear what I'm saying? Hello, hello, vocoder. Hello, hello, vocoder. Hello, hello, vocoder. Vocoder, vocoder. Can you understand this? Can you understand this?
Softer, that one, and I think you can hear them both quite clearly. Both good, both really good, I think. At the minute, which one would I prefer? I think I like the tweakability on the Korg, but I like the simplicity on the VP-03. But in a mix, which one would work best? As a vocoder, obviously, I think the Korg you've got more options with. The VP-03, it's great because you can do the strings and the human voice at the same time. So if you're doing a live gig,
We're doing a live gig. You could play lots of things at the same time.
mini keys. Yeah, I can't describe quite how annoying this microphone is. It's so short. See if you can see that on the camera. That, you know, you can imagine playing a gig and that's there. Imagine, you know, it's really got to be right in front of you, or you're stuffed. If it's anywhere else and keys in the way, it's just, oh, I can't see it on the camera yet. It's just pathetic. It's got to be absolutely in the right place. Because don't forget, you can't get background noise on these as well. So you've literally, you know, your head's got to be down there. So you're playing your chords. It's just infuriating, that. Digitech Talker going through the Prophet 6 and the MicroKORG Cluster Flux, as I said. So a fair few £1,000s worth of equipment. But let's just say it's a more high-end, I suppose, approach to vocoding.
Let's have a listen. Let's have a little listen.
Now that sounds really, really clear to me.
Here we go. Can you understand what I'm saying? Single sawtooth, funky little vocoder. Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic.
Back to that old chestnut. Sounds nice, that. I'll compare it with the others later. Let's have a listen to it with some chorus in the mix.
Can you understand this? Can you understand this? Is the MicroKORG equivalent, considering it's 10 times less? This is more comfortable because the keys are bigger. And I've got a proper microphone to talk into, not a tiny little thing that's hurting my neck. Vocoder, vocoder, vocoder.
Right, let's have a look at the Xils-Lab V+. So it does a bit more than this can do. But quickly, let's just have a listen to the various sounds in it. So let's just listen to the strings. So these are the strings off the Roland and strings off the Xils. I think this one sounds a little brighter, maybe. A little brighter and a little smoother. Yeah, I think this one's definitely a bit nice. So let's have a listen to the female voice. So to click the female voice on there, the female voice is up, turn the string off. Same on this. Now on this one you've got the voice, you know, it's either on or off. On this you can mix them slightly more. You've got a mix button there and you sort of format shift and format resonance and stuff. So more difficult to get these sounding similar, but the levels on this are monstrous. They come out really, really, I think too loud actually. So again, these are sounding a bit different. Yeah, it's in the same ballpark, but it's not the same. And this hasn't got the ensemble on, by the way. So male vocals. Got the ensemble on. Very nice. This is sounding much, much smoother, isn't it? So there are differences. Let's put them both together, shall we? Turn the tone down on those strings. The same on this. Both the male and female. Ensemble on. Strings in there, not quite as loud. So I think there's quite a big difference in that. Let's have a listen to the vocoder on this then. That's really quite awkward to set this up. What you do is you have this set up as an instrument MIDI controlled effect. And so this is an instrument, a MIDI controlled effect. You have your vocals coming in on a different channel. So let's see if they're there. The microphone's coming on input 4 through a UAD. And if you put it through audio 4 rather than input 4, you get all sorts of mental feedback, and it'll only work when you're playing the tracks. I've got to press play, so you just see it's looping around there. Now let me see if the vocoder will work. Let's turn the other sounds off. Vocoder, so it's not vocoder, it's not working. Is it playing? It is playing. Records on. So it's something about levels. It's nuts, this thing on the levels. Let's turn the ensemble off, just have a straight vocoder.
Can you understand this? Vocoder, vocoder. Can you understand what I'm saying with this vocoder?
And let's try something higher up.
This is a vocoder. It is very loud. Can you understand me? Does it sound very muffled? Or is it okay? I'm not really sure. This is the vocoder from the Roland VP-03. It sounds much clearer to me.
And again.
This sounds a little bit easier to me. And this sounds much crisper.
So yeah, I think nice comparison there. This is definitely nicer sounding than that. This is twice the price of that. This does all other bits and bobs, but if I was only allowed to keep one of these two, it would definitely be this one. But then again, the MicroKORG is a bit clearer than this, I think. By far the clearest is obviously the stuff that costs thousands. Say obviously, you know, isn't always the case.
But the microphone on this is really far too small. Doing this is really hurting my back.
This is just so small. Sort of takes a lot of effort to lean that over that far while I've got leads and whatnot sort of draped all over the floor. Hopefully you find that interesting. I think it is. I think it was good fun, but quite dangerous. The studio's got leads everywhere at the minute, and I'm going to pack it away before I break anything. So thanks for watching. Cheers now.
Vocoder, 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 vocoder.